SLT speed up සවාරිය සමගින් සද්දන්ත වාසි රැල්ලක්. අලුත් broadband සබඳතා සඳහා පළමු මාස දෙක පුරා data double speed up with SLT.
Making headlines on First at 9. Stability gives credibility. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe assures to strengthen police and police special task force to ensure country's law and order. Judicial integrity. Chief Justice Priyasad Deb calls judicial fraternity to maintain their independence and impartiality.
As judges, it is our paramount duty to maintain the independence of the judiciary.
Elections finally. Chairman of Election Commission optimistic of Provincial Council polls in January. Challenging state orders. MP Uday Gammanpilla says legal action will be taken against those who attempt to sabotage September 5th anti-government rally.
We will file corruption charges against these officers at trial at bar in near future.
IGP, however, assures complete police security to Colombo. Violating state secrets. A Myanmar court sentenced 2 Reuters journalists to 7 years in prison. A very good evening to all our viewers and welcome to First at 9 on Other Derana 24/7 Sri Lanka's news channel. I'm Katharina Chang. Now moving on to a top story tonight. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe says the government is focused on strengthening the police and police special task force to ensure law and order and stability of the country. The Premier made the remark at the 152nd Sri Lanka Police Day celebration in Colombo today.
The 152nd Sri Lanka Police Day was celebrated under the theme A Dignified Enduring Mission with the objective of making Sri Lanka Police the companion of the public. The official ceremony to mark Police Day was held at the Police Field Force headquarters in Bambalapitiya today.
If a government can't maintain law and order in a country, that government will not be able to hold on to its governing powers. There won't be any stability or development if the law and order are compromised. Investors are only interested in whether law and order and the country's stability are properly maintained. That's why the government is focused on strengthening the police and police special task force. We're also taking measures to control drug trafficking in the country. But the IGP tells me that the media doesn't reveal the progress of any of our efforts. I should tell him that there are 2 parties that will be at the helm of blame at all occasions, politicians and the police. At least politicians can go up on stages and express their views, but the police can't do anything even when they've rendered a good service to the country.
Chief Justice Priyasad Deb insists that it is of paramount importance for judges to maintain their independence and impartiality in order to protect the integrity of the judiciary. Speaking at a ceremony to begin work on the Kilinochchi District Court complex, the Chief Justice highlighted that the judiciary has a role to play in maintaining accountability for the general public.
The foundation stone for the court complex in the Kilinochchi district was laid this morning in presence of Minister of Justice Thalatha Attukorala, Chief Justice Priyasad Deb and former Minister of Child Affairs Vijay Kala Maheswaran. The court complex is being built at a cost of 450 million rupees and construction work is expected to complete by May 2020.
In Sri Lanka, due to the population increase and the increase in the crime rate and also the litigation, there is a need to have more court complexes into the standard of the existing courthouses. So the government is more concerned about developing the infrastructure of these courthouses and had started constructing new court complexes in various parts of the country. In the northern province also, there is a significant development. The main issue is about the quality of the administration of justice. As judges, it is our paramount duty to maintain the independence, integrity and impartiality of the judiciary. Otherwise, people will lose their confidence in the judicial system. And also, we have a duty to exercise due diligence and also we must have improve our competency and efficiency. So we are concerned about judicial integrity and also judicial accountability. So that is also an important aspect because we have voluntarily joined the judiciary. So if we want to remain, we have to see that we will justify our remuneration and other things. We have to serve the general public. So we are accountable to the people. Even the lawyers also will have to maintain their standard. They must also have respect to other ethical standards. So they are not merely a mouthpiece of the client. The supporting staff of courts, they also play a very important role. During the last few years, we were trying to increase their salaries and standards. So we have prepared a scheme of recruitment.
Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa says the government should refrain from funding campaigns to attack certain regions and believes in the guise of reconciliation. The former president made this remark at a religious function held at Dumagavela, Lianagolla Hermitage in Monaragala this morning.
It is difficult for me to understand the cause of activities surrounding religious extremism. There is an NGO that pumped funds for former President Chandraka Bandaranaike to lead the project. I must remind that new projects and creations should come up, but not through state funds. Also, campaigns should not be funded to degrade any religion in the guise of reconciliation. After war, we began development work throughout the country. Also about temple trees, we built a large hall during an international convention. After the event, we also used the hall for events of national importance, but now it is being utilized for weddings. Even the special court that was set up for the Rajapaksas I see is as a political court. On the night of the last presidential election, I inquired about the percentage of votes in the north and the east. I was told that around 89% has voted. That is when I knew I was defeated. I tried to contact the new president, although he was not reachable, and then I talked to Ranil Wickremesinghe. I handed over everything, said goodbye, and left for Madamulana.
Chairman of the Election Commission Mahinda Desha is optimistic that the much-delayed provincial council polls could be held by early January next year. He voiced his opinion at a ceremony to hand over certificates for female political activists in Colombo today.
මට බලයක් නෑනේ ඡන්දෙත් නේ තීරණය කරන්න. අපට තියෙන්නේ පළාත් සභා ඡන්ද විමසීම පැවැත්වීමේදී දැනට වළංගු පවත්නා මිශ්‍ර සමානුපාත ක්‍රමයට අදාළ ආකෘති සකස් කිරීම, නිලධාරීන් දත්ත එකතු කිරීම යනාදී කරුණු අපි ආරම්භ කරලා තියෙන දැනටම. මොකද පරණ ක්‍රමයට යනවා නම් ඒ ක්‍රමයට ගියොත් ආකෘති අපි ගාව තියෙනවා. නමුත් නව ක්‍රමයේ ආකෘති අපි සකස් කරලා නැහැ. ඡන්දය දෙවීමට අවශ්‍ය ක්‍රියාමාර්ගය දැන් ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙනවා. අග්‍රාමාත්‍යතුමා ප්‍රමුඛ පංචපුද්ගල කමිටුවේ. ඔක්තෝබර් මාසය වෙනකොට වැඩ ඉවර කරයි. ඒ අතරතුර පළාත් සභා විෂය භාරකරුවා මාත්‍යතුමා පනතේ අඩුපාඩු හදයි. අපි විශ්වාස කරනවා නොවැම්බර් මුල අපට නාම යෝජනා කැඳවන්න පුළුවන් වෙයි. ජනවාරි මාසයේ මුල ඡන්දය තියන්න පුළුවන් වෙයි කියලා.
President Maithripalas returned to the island last night, concluding his state visit to Nepal, where he was welcomed by various politicians at the Bandaranaike International Airport. The return of the head of state meant that he could celebrate his birthday on home soil, which he did today.
The delegation, including President Maithripalas Sirisena, arrived in the country last night following their engagements in the two-day state visit to Nepal. Many politicians were present at the Bandaranaike International Airport to welcome the president, who received the chairmanship of BIMSTEC, which will be held in Sri Lanka next year. Following the arrival, President Maithripalas Sirisena engaged in religious observances at the airport. Today marks the 67th birthday of President Maithripalas Sirisena. He was born on the 3rd of September 1951. And was educated at Thopaveva Mahavidyalaya and Royal College, Polonnaruwa. While in school as a teenager, he developed an interest in politics and was chosen as the secretary of the SLFP youth organization in Polonnaruwa at the age of 16. He steps into politics in 1989 and served as a minister at a number of cabinet ministries. He became the General Secretary of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party in 2001 and won the presidential election in 2015, becoming the 6th executive president of Sri Lanka. The president also unveiled the golden fence placed around the Bodhi tree located in the premises of the president's house in Fort today.
UPF MP and leader of the Pivituru Hela Urumaya leader Udaya Gammanpilla alleges that the government is in a desperate attempt to prevent the public from participating in their anti-government protests to be held on the 5th of this month. Addressing a media briefing in Colombo, he added that legal action will be initiated against officials who had signed circulars with the intention of sabotaging the anti-government campaign.
Government is trying its best to prevent people joining this protest on 5th of September. Leave of Samurdhi and agrarian officers have been cancelled and advised them to stick to their office without going to the field, because government is of the view that these officers are capable of mobilizing the people at grassroots level. National Disaster Management Center has announced people in the coastal area should stay at their homes on 5th in the morning, since they are going to have a tsunami rehearsal. Further, provincial transport authorities have issued a circular declaring a passenger transport model week from 1st of September. All buses should be stuck to their ordinary route during this week. The ulterior motive of this circular is to prevent people using public transport or rather private buses to come to Colombo and join the protest. We will anyway somehow come to Colombo and hold the protest on 5th. Whoever who signed the circular have abused their office to discriminate one political party to appease another. It would amount to corruption defined in Section 70 of Bribery Act. Therefore, we will file corruption charges against these officers at trial at bar in near future.
As we all know by now that the joint opposition is currently organising a mass protest which will be held on the 5th of September. Views were expressed from members of both the government and opposition regarding this protest today as well.
In 2015, the FCID filed a case at the Kurunegala.
Maithripalas, young parliamentarians will be organising the mass rally in Colombo on the 5th of September to bring masses that are never before seen. Get in all of your vehicles and come to Colombo. Let's raid Colombo on the 5th of September. It is the police officers who conduct raids to capture drug traffickers and so on. Nobody can topple governments just because they conduct raids like they are claiming. The party leaders are to meet with former President Maithripalas tomorrow, and they will then decide on where and how the protest will be held. The students will not be inconvenienced at all. If you look at the cost for this protest, it will cost 160 million rupees for transport, 100 million rupees will be spent for food, and 180 million will be spent on alcohol. So this means at least the cost for the rally and the protest will be around 500 million rupees. Where are they going to get all this money from? Wednesday is a school and a working day, so our priority will be to provide security for the general public so that they are not inconvenienced by the protest. But the protesters must exercise their democratic rights by not being an inconvenience to others. We will make sure that they will not violate any laws, and we will also have to exercise full powers vested with us in case these protesters vandalize or come into any high security zones. We aren't taking these actions to satisfy any personal vendetta.
3 persons, including UPF MP Johnston Fernando, have been remanded until September 11th over the alleged misuse of state funds at Lankan. The verdict was meted out by the Kurunegala High Court today.
In 2015, the FCID filed a case at the Kurunegala Magistrate Court against former Minister of Cooperatives and Internal Trade, UPFA parliamentarian Johnston Fernando and 3 others over the alleged misuse of state funds from 3 branches of Lankan amounting to over 5.2 million rupees in 2013. Thereby, steps were taken to produce the defendants before the Kurunegala Magistrate Court and were ordered to be remanded following the hearing. The charge sheet filed during this hearing was taken up before the Kurunegala High Court today. Among the others who were accused were former chairman of Satosa, Nalin Fernando, and his then private secretary, Mohammed Saki. The hearing, which was to be heard continuously, was postponed to the 11th of September as the defendants requested to be given more time to examine the documents. A protest was staged opposite the court premises this afternoon when the defendants were escorted to the Kegol prison.
Head of the Department of Anatomy at the University of Colombo, Professor Vajira Dissanayake, says that Sri Lanka will be hosting its first International Digital Health Week and is expected to host the largest gathering of digital health professionals from around the world.
A media briefing to announce International Digital Health Week was organised by the Health Promotion Bureau in Colombo today. International Digital Health Week, which will take place from the 7th to the 12th of September, is organised by the Ministry of Health together with the Health Informatics Society of Sri Lanka.
This Digital Health Week is the first major international event following resolution on digital health, which was adopted by the World Health Organization in May 2018. Our aim is that through digitalization, we would be able to bring about a transformation of the healthcare services in Sri Lanka. And this week would be a milestone in that, because it would be the opportunity for the health sector, those working in the health sector, as well as others, to get a flavor of what digital health is, not only from a local point of view, but from a global point of view.
And with that, let's cross over to a short commercial break.
You are watching Sri Lanka's award-winning news channel, Derana 24/7.
GD Premaratne was crowned the winner of Derana 60+ reality TV program, the first of its kind for senior citizens of the country. Chandra Dissanayake went home as the runner-up of the reality experience, while Bentarage Aryawansha took the title of the most popular singer.
Dialogue Prashansa, Derana 60+.
Derana 60+ reality TV show, the first ever reality experience for senior citizens in Sri Lanka, commenced 6 months ago with the participation of 15,000. TV Derana brought together immense yet forgotten talents to the 60+ family. With the competition nearing conclusion, the general public was given a chance to vote via SMS to choose the most popular singer from 10 best contestants. Among the 10 best were also the 3 finalists chosen by the elite panel of judges to compete in the ultimate reality experience, the grand finale. The star-studded grand finale of Derana 60+ was held last night at the Janakala Centre in Battaramulla. Receiving the highest SMS votes, Bentarage Aryawansha clinched the title for most popular singer.
ජනප්‍රියම ජ්‍යෙෂ්ඨ පුරවැසි තාරකාව බෙන්තරගේ ආර්යවංශ මහත්මයා.
The highlight, the 3 finalists contesting in a reality performance to clinch the top title. The panel of judges voted Clement Silva as the second runner-up of Derana 60+.
Derana 60+, තුන්වන ස්ථානය Clement Silva මහත්මයා.
Chandra Dissanayake was chosen as the runner-up.
Dialogue Prashansa, Derana 60+ අනුශූරතාවය.
GD Premaratne clinched the top title of the first reality experience for senior citizens in the country, Derana 60+.
Dialogue Prashansa, Derana 60+. පළමු අදියරේ ජයග්‍රහණය GD Premaratne මහත්මයා.
Let's now take a look at the emerging stories from across Sri Lanka on our segment Across Sri Lanka.
The All Island Bakery Owners Association announced that the price of a 450-gram loaf of bread will be increased by 5 rupees with effect from midnight today. Chairman of the association, N.K. Jayawardena, said that only bread prices will be increased as the price of other bakery items were increased recently. Venerable Bengamu Inalaka Thera, Venerable Magal Kande Sudatta Thera, Venerable Itte Kande Saddhatissa Thera, and Venerable Madille Panyaloka Thera, who were arrested over damaging public property, were produced before the Fourth Magistrates Court and granted bail. Police had informed the court that the suspects were identified in connection with the damages caused to public property during a protest by disabled war veterans in 2016. Maithripalas Fernando, the chairman of the People's Bank, has been appointed as the Chief of Staff of the President's office. Fernando received his letter of appointment from President Maithripalas at the Presidential Secretariat this morning. The remains of 7 elephants who drowned in a swamp in Periyaru, Polonnaruwa, were taken away by army officers this morning. Locals in the area say that excess moss in the Periyaru river may have resulted in the unfortunate death of the 7 elephants.
The Board of Investment assures that 21 BOI investment projects currently in operation and a further 14 projects which are in the pipeline for Sri Lanka is estimated to create 10,142 jobs in the northern province. The BOI added that the total investment of these 35 projects is valued at 46.48 billion rupees. In a statement today, the State Investment Agency said that 8 billion rupees worth of investment has gone into the establishment of 6 apparel manufacturers in the north, which has created over 7,100 jobs. Furthermore, 15 projects spanning across several sectors, which are in operation, represent investments to the tune of 16.29 billion rupees, providing employment to 837 workers in the northern province. These sectors include ice manufacturing, fishing nets, mesh products, artificial flowers and concentrate products in addition to hotels, healthcare and power generation. The Board of Investment added that special focus has been given to introduce aquaculture in Mannar district in collaboration with New Zealand. China too has shown interest in venturing into aquaculture in the north and has invested a total of 425 million rupees in the new Silk Road aquaculture. Attention has also been given to the area of power generation, particularly in wind and solar power. Currently, 2 BOI projects involving wind power generation is to be implemented in the Jaffna Peninsula. Apart from the 21 projects in operation, the BOI also highlighted the status of future projects, noting that 2 new projects are awaiting commercial operation, while 5 are awaiting implementation. Furthermore, 2 projects which have been granted approval are awaiting agreements to be inked. Another 5 projects are awaiting approval. The slowdown in China's economy is weighing on its huge manufacturing sector, and according to data published today, growth in output at Chinese factories have slumped to its lowest level in more than a year in August.
The latest evidence of weaknesses in the world's second largest economy comes in the midst of China's trade war with the United States. The 2 countries have imposed tariffs on more than $50 billion of goods and are threatening far more. The latest Purchasing Managers Index survey, conducted by media group Caixin and research firm Market, showed a fall of output to 50.6 last month from 50.8 in July, the slowest rate of acceleration in 14 months. The Caixin market data also showed that Chinese factories' export orders slumped for the 5th month in a row and that companies have been laying off staff.
Sri Lankan shares rose for the 4th straight session today to their highest close in nearly 3 weeks, led by gains in banking and beverage stocks. The All-Share Price Index ended 0.18% higher at 6,091.45. The index, however, lost 1.1% in August, having hit its lowest close since March 2017 on the 28th of August. The boost is down 4.4% so far this year. We now have Achyutan Srirangan from First Capital Holdings for a detailed report.
All-share price index witnessed an uptrend at the beginning of the trading day, reaching an intraday high of 6,002 and followed by the downtrend closing at 6,092, gaining 11 points. Both turnover and volume has decreased, while nearly 58% turnover derived by land breweries. A net foreign outflow was witnessed for the 5th consecutive day with a high foreign participant.
The Sri Lankan rupee fell to an all-time low today, marking a 10th straight session of setting fresh thoughts as importer dollar demand surpassed mild selling of the greenback by exporters. The rupee, which hit a record low of 161 rupees and 65 cents early in the trade, closed at 161 rupees and 60 to 70 cents per dollar, compared with Friday's close of 161 rupees from 40 to 50 cents. Let's now take a look at the foreign currencies rates for the day. A court in Myanmar sentenced two Reuters journalists to 7 years in prison for violating a state secret act while investigating violence against the Rohingya Muslim community. The reporters have maintained their innocence, saying they were set up by police. The case is seen as a landmark test of progress towards democracy in Myanmar. 32-year-old Walon and 28-year-old Kyaw So-U were arrested on 12th of December last year while investigating the killing of 10 Rohingya men and boys and other abuses involving soldiers and police in Myanmar's Rakhine state village of Indin. The reporters had told court that moments before their arrest, two police officials handed them papers at a restaurant claiming to be related to the investigation. The two men, who are working for Reuters, have been in prison since their arrest in December 2017. It was in this backdrop that a Myanmar judge today found the journalists guilty of breaching a law on state secrets and jailed them for 7 years. The judge told the court in Yangon the pair had intended to harm the interests of the state, and so they have been found guilty under the State Secrets Act, although the reporters pleaded not guilty. Press freedom advocates, the UN, the European Union and countries including the United States, Canada and Australia had called for the journalists' acquittal. The verdict comes amid mounting pressure on the government of Nobel laureate Aung San Suu Kyi over a security crackdown sparked by attacks by Rohingya Muslim insurgents on security forces in August last year. Thousands of years of history has gone up in flames in Rio de Janeiro after a massive fire raced through Brazil's National Museum yesterday. Most of the 20 million items it contained, including the oldest human remains ever found in the Americas, are believed to have been destroyed, although the cause of the blaze is unknown. A massive fire raced through Brazil's 200-year-old National Museum in Rio de Janeiro yesterday, the oldest scientific institution in the country. Brazilian officials suspect that flames might have destroyed the museum collection of more than 20 million items, ranging from archaeological finds to historical memorabilia. It was one of the largest museums of natural history and anthropology in the Americas. Founded in 1818, the building was home to items covering the centuries from the arrival of the Portuguese in the 1500s to the declaration of a republic in 1889. Its millions of artifacts include fossils, Brazil's largest meteorite, dinosaur bones, and a 12,000-year-old skeleton of a woman known as Luzia, the oldest ever discovered in the Americas. The ethnology collection had unique pieces from the pre-Columbian era and artifacts from indigenous cultures, as well as pieces from Greco-Roman times and Egypt.
You are watching Sri Lanka's premier news channel, Derana 24/7.
Rafael Nadal, Dominic Thiem and Juan Martín del Potro advanced to the US Open Quarterfinals with pressure-free wins. In the women's draw, Serena Williams and Sloane Stephens defeated Kaia Kanepi to secure spots in the quarterfinals.
Following a shock upset of world number 1 Simona Halep in the first round, the 44th ranked Kaia Kanepi looked a potential trouble spot for the 6-time US Open champion Serena Williams. Williams survived a scare from giant killer Kaia Kanepi to claim a 6-0, 4-6, 6-3 win yesterday to move into the US Open quarterfinals, a step closer to a record equaling 24th career Grand Slam title. Defending champion Sloane Stephens eased into the quarterfinals of the US Open with a 6-3, 6-3 victory over Belgian Elise Mertens in New York yesterday. In the men's draw, 9th seed Dominic Thiem continued his bid for a first Grand Slam title, toppling last year's runner-up Kevin Anderson 7-5, 6-2, 7-6 to reach the US Open quarterfinals for the first time. Top men's seed Rafael Nadal set up an intriguing quarterfinal showdown with Dominic Thiem after snuffing out a comeback attempt by Georgia's Nicolas Basilashvili with a 6-3, 6-3, 7-6, 6-4 win. Third seed Juan Martin Del Potro crushed Croatia's Bona Koric 6-4, 6-3, 6-1 at the US Open in New York yesterday to set up a quarterfinal clash with American John Isner.
You are watching Sri Lanka's #1 news channel, Other Derana 24/7.
A very good evening to our viewers and welcome to Forecast First. Starting off with your temperatures for tomorrow that will vary between 20 and 34 degrees Celsius with the eastern coastal belt from Mullaitivu to Hambantota bearing the brunt of it. When looking at the map, a low pressure zone will develop in the central hills and will gradually disappear. While several parts of the upper region of the island including Jaffna, Mannar and Anuradhapura will experience the sunny weather. In the lower region of the island, however, except for Kandy, Colombo and Galle, other parts will experience showers with thunder activity also expected. That's all from the Weather Centre tonight. Up next is your city by city forecast.
And before we go, we'd like to take you to Kokativu, located in Batticaloa, which is surrounded by the wonderful nature and sea. We hope you enjoy these visuals and have a pleasant evening.
Bringing you the news and information 24 hours a day. This is Sri Lanka's premier news channel, Other Derana 24/7.